Wake Up Carolina on the iCorridor Talk Network.
It takes Mondays to make Fridays. 843-661-0937 is our number. We've got a treat for our listeners this morning. We get a lot of these Fox News personalities, but none of them are homeboys. We've got someone with us today that's a fellow South Carolinian, actually ran for Congress in 2010 when I got elected lieutenant governor of South Carolina. His trajectory has been a little bit different than mine, and we congratulate him for that. Trey Gowdy is with us. Congressman, good morning. How are you?
I don't know about that. We both wound up at the exact same place at 7:30 on a Monday morning. I think our trajectories have been similar.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You've written a book. Does it hurt to ask, using the power of questions to communicate, connect, and persuade? I give myself high fives when I see you acquit yourself so well in Washington. The first question I got for you, why did you choose not to run for re-election, Congressman?
Ken, I mean, I've got 2/3 of life in the rearview mirror, and I got about a third of it in the windshield. And so you do have to have a conversation with yourself about how you want to live whatever time God gives you left. And I want to live it with my wife, and I want to live it in South Carolina. And I was just tired of airports and airplanes, and I thought I had a pretty good career as the solicitor. That was something I was proud of, but I didn't enjoy Congress.
Interesting. In every facet of our lives, the ability to persuade and communicate is essential and important. It's so important to you that you chose to write a book about it. Obviously, I know the motivation. What can people expect to gain if they purchase and read your book?
How to be heard, how to be understood. I think it's very frustrating when you're sitting at the dinner table or on a job site and you want to communicate what it is you believe, but you don't either feel equipped to do so or you don't feel talented enough to do so. It is a learnable trait, and I want to show you how to be persuasive, and then the second half of the book is really how to ask questions. And, cross-examination is certainly part of that, but also part of it is asking really, really good questions that kind of make the other side reevaluate what they believe because you have been so precise with your question. It's really about, I'll tell a story in there again about my brother-in-law who is just a rabid Clemson fan. At Thanksgiving, that's the most important political issue in the world to me is Carolina Clemson football. That's got nothing to do with China or the coronavirus. It's college football. So you can hate politics, and this book will still help you.
What do you say to people who find that complicated or difficult? You and I got in the world of politics. We're in the world of media and entertainment to some degree, so it's kind of a natural personality trait and characteristics that we have. For those, my brother would come to mind, who really has trouble. He's a lot smarter than I, just not as willing to express himself. How does this book help those people?
Well, I would tell him the most persuasive person I know in the world is a first-grade school teacher who doesn't follow politics. That is my wife, because she lives an authentic life. Authenticity is the most persuasive thing in the world. Now, you have to force yourself to be good at asking questions, but it sounds to me like your brother, because he is a good person, might be a good listener. And the very best questioners in the world are the best listeners in the world, because the other side's going to say something that gives you an opening. You just have to train your mind to hear it. And sometimes it's just a word, but that word they use, if you listen, will allow you to use your questioning skills to either weaken their case or bolster your case, or sometimes both.
Trey, last question. Appreciate your time. When people see from a distance the dysfunction in Washington, they become deeply concerned about where the country is headed. As someone who sat in the middle of that muck and tried to make heads or tails of it, how do you reinforce positiveness to people who have deep concerns about where the country is and where it appears we're headed?
Well, I will say one thing. I'm not known for my optimism, Kim, but I'm going to say one thing that's going to hopefully make people feel a little bit better. That dysfunction is primarily just on camera. 99% of the people in the House and Senate get along just like the rest of us get along off air. Now, that doesn't reflect itself in progress legislatively. The problem we have is people in D.C. think that is what their constituents want. That's what they think. Now, you've been in politics. The number one thing people in politics want, more than anything else in the world, is to be reelected. So that is clearly what they think their constituents want. And it's my job and your job and other people's job to say, you know what, you can be true to your core values and not be completely dysfunctional. And what we have right now, at least the legislative part of D.C., is completely dysfunctional.
Well, explain. Does it hurt to ask using the power of questions to communicate, connect, and persuade? Where can someone find this book by a fellow South Carolinian?
Not just a fellow South Carolinian. My parents are from Lake City, South Carolina.
I bumped into your parents on the campaign trail in 2010.
PD. Oh, it's everywhere. It's Amazon. You Google Doesn't Hurt to Ask, and it's going to give you plenty of options to have that book delivered right to your house.
Trey, good hearing from you. Appreciate your time.
Man.
Take care.
Take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Wake Up Carolina on the iCarter Talk Network.